Hey there, it's Kay, and thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today I'll be sharing with you guys my monthly budget for January 2021. And before we get into it, as always, I just want to thank my returning subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me again. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing down below and also hitting the notification bell so that you know when I upload. All right, let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we are opened up to my double page calendar for January 2021. I decided I wanted to go back to the double page calendar spread, which I have available in my shop, as well as just the single calendar spread, which I'm just going to be using to keep track of my video uploads and stuff for now. But as you can see, I've already laid down stickers here on the page for both my paydays and all of my fixed expenses on here. And if you look here on my notes column, you can see that I've designated this month as a magic month, and it's by design. It's not coincidence. With December and November, I had made them shorter months, and with January, it's going to be a longer month, so I needed 3 paychecks for that. So the way it works out is that my January budget is going to cover December 25th through February 2nd, which is going to be this Tuesday here. So all of my bills between those dates are laid out on here, and I have them color-coded by paycheck of how I'm going to pay them out. So I'm just going to come in here and grab this monthly budget page, and all of these paycheck budget sheets are also available in my Etsy shop along with the calendars. Those are the only 2 listings I have available as a printable PDF for you guys. But it's the monthly budget and paycheck numbers 1 through 5, as well as a paycheck number blank in case you get paid multiple times a month. And I've already tried to film this video once, so this is my second take, so forgive all of the smudginess here, but I've discovered with this new premium paper that I'm using, the way that it's applied the ink onto the page doesn't agree too much with my erasable pen, so I might have to look into using a different type of pen. But for now, because I am the type of person to make mistakes, I'm going to keep using the erasable pen. But I should be able to do the budget rate this time. So first I'm going to go in and list all of my bills or fixed expenses in this column here. And I'm going to zoom in for you guys so you can see it. And I'm also going to tuck this in the corner of my desk so that I have it. But the first thing is going to be the second half of December's rent. And then we have Spotify. But what's different about this monthly budget is my Spotify always comes out on the 1st. And because I'm covering both January 1st and February 1st on my monthly budget for January, I'm actually going to be paying Spotify twice, so I have to account for that, so Spotify times 2. I also have my credit union credit card, which is my very last credit card that I have, and it should be paid off this year, which is really exciting. And then I have my Adobe Creative Cloud subscription that I have Premiere Pro on, as well as InDesign, that I've started creating my worksheets with. And then I have a Samsung Cloud. And then this is marked as the first half of January's rent because I will be splitting it between paycheck number 2 and paycheck number 3 for the month, but I am just going to group it into one total expense on here because I don't have a lot of room in here, but I'll get to that. So I'm going to put Sprint and then my car insurance, and then my tuition, and finally February's rent. Oh, that should be FEB. I wrote FB, I just had to change it to FEB, rent. And I'm just gonna get this up in the frame. So let's take a look at like actual numbers going on here. So the second half of my December rent, I'm gonna budget $407. And my Spotify subscription is $5 a month for the student discount plan. And because I have to pay it twice, that's gonna be $10 for the month. And then my credit union Visa card minimum is still $52. For Adobe Creative Cloud, I'm gonna budget $17, and that should cover any taxes or fees on top of the $15 a month subscription. And then Samsung Cloud is just $1. Sprint is always $36 for me. Car insurance is $193. UMass Lowell tuition is $50. And for the entirety of February's rent, I'm gonna budget $850, which is a little more than I had been budgeting for. However, my utilities are included in that rent cost, and because we've been getting a lot of snow and colder weather, we've been running the heat and taking hotter showers, so I am expecting my utilities cost to be higher for going into, I wrote February, and this whole time it really meant to be January, and that's why writing February felt weird. Guys, I messed up this budget so much, and I don't know what it is. I think it's just because it's so much in one, and I've only been budgeting for like 3 weeks before, and now I'm budgeting for like 5 weeks. So I'm a little discombobulated. I apologize. Let's get this totaled up. So I brought up my graphing calculator, and we're just gonna add everything up. Well, that's a beautiful number, 1616. I don't know if that's anyone's lucky numbers, but I hope so. So we're starting with 2,700. We're gonna take away 1616. So we have $1,084 that we're going to then carry into my cash envelopes. So this is the flow of my budget for those who have never watched me budget before. Is I'm like kind of like a list type of person. I like to write lists. And so I start with my fixed expenses, go to my variable expenses, and then sinking funds, debt payments, and anything extra. So we're gonna come down here to my cash envelopes category, which are my variable expenses. So for those, I have allowance, gas, groceries, eating out, laundry, and pet. Part of the reason I was kind of messing up a little bit when I was making this budget too is because I was originally supposed to go away to New York for a week for work, but that got pushed back into February, and I'm gonna be gone for a month. So I'm just gonna budget like kind of my regular variable expenses for this month. But I am going to increase a couple things just out of curiosity, because I do think I have been, in a weird way, underspending in pet, but that's because I have been feeding my cat kibble, and I don't think I want to do that anymore with him. I think I'm just going to feed him wet food, which is going to be a lot more expensive, but it's to help his overall health. So I'm going to increase my pet budget to $60 for the month, and I normally do $40. But I think that 60 might give me some wiggle room to be able to afford the wet food that I want to get him. My laundry, I'm also going to increase to $40, and normally I do $20, and that's just enough to get all my work clothes done. That doesn't wash any of my civilian clothes or anything, and I need to make sure that I actually wash my civilian clothes so that I have like normal clothes to take with me since I'm going to be gone for the entirety of next month. So I am going to up my laundry budget to get some extra loads to be able to wash my normal clothes. Eating out is going to stay the same as it normally is. I'm going to do 40. Grocery, I'm going to bump up a little bit to $2.20. Gas, I'm also going to bump up a little bit to $60 because in place of going to New York, I now have to go to northern Maine. So that's going to cost a bit of money in gas to get up there. And my allowance, I'm going to keep the same. That's going to be $40. So let's go ahead and total these up and see what we come out to. So that comes out to $460, which is kind of a lot more than I normally budget for in my variable expenses, but I should still be able to finagle it with my other budget goals. And I just want to be safe and make sure I have enough variable spending going on. So we started this category with $10.84. We need $460, so we are coming out of the category with $624 to move into sinking funds. So for my sinking funds, I have car maintenance, home medical, personal, phone, and vet. And if you haven't already watched my 2021 budget goals video, which I'll have in the card in the top right corner for you, I've made a commitment to myself to try to save a minimum of $100 a month in my sinking funds, and it's not towards a specific sinking fund. I could do it across all my funds or towards one specific one. I do know I definitely want to save $100 in my medical fund for sure, so we'll put that down there. But I'm thinking, because my snowball goal I actually bumped down to 300, but I think I could still do 400. So I know I'm kind of jumping ahead to debt payments for my snowball. But I think I can do 400. So if we have 624 minus 500 is 124. So I'll take 100 out of that and I'll split it between these other 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll give them 20 each, to be fair for now, just so that everyone's getting a little something. So that'll be $200. That'll be $424. And then that gives me $400 to snowball. And then this $24 I'm going to stick, I have 2 checking accounts. One is the checking account that I just received like my direct deposits in through work and stuff. And then I have my bills checking, which I had just been kind of collecting, just making odd deposits of, spare amounts. And I want to turn that eventually into a month ahead account. So I'm going to stick this into my bills checking, which is hopefully eventually going to be my month ahead account. So we're going to throw that 24 in there and zero out the monthly budget. So here is my monthly budget, and again, it's an estimate budget. It's not going to be exact, which is why there's a budgeted and actual amount sections in here. And if you're familiar with my content, normally this is where I would end the video, is with my monthly budget, but I actually wanted to show you guys how I break this budget down between my paychecks. especially because I have the 3 paychecks for this month. So I'm going to actually grab all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and put this monthly budget in here, and we'll have it off to the side. And I want to show you guys how I turned this broken down into my paycheck budgets. Because again, if you look at my calendar, everything is color coded by paycheck. I split all my bills using the Budget Mom's Budget by Paycheck method, which I found to work the best for me as a bi-weekly earner. So everything is color coded with paycheck 1, paycheck 2, and paycheck number 3. So I have my monthly budget off to the side in the corner here, and let's start with paycheck number 1. The only income source I budgeted for the entire month is from my day job, and I budgeted for $900 a paycheck. So the fixed expenses that I have to pay off this first paycheck are the second half of my December rent for the $407. Oh, and sorry, I'm starting with $900. The first Spotify, because remember I'm paying 2 Spotifys, but the first one will be $5. And then I'm paying my credit union credit card for $52. And then I have my Adobe Creative Cloud subscription coming in. We budgeted $17. So we're gonna add these up. 407 plus 5 plus 52 plus 17 is 481. 900 minus 481 is 419. So then I'm going to come down here to cash envelopes. So we have 419 to work with. And I usually like to take the amounts that I budget for monthly and split them in half or about 2/3, kind of depending. So I'll write down all my categories. So these are all my variable spending categories. And for allowance for the month, we budgeted 40. So here I'll do 20. Gas for the month, we budgeted 60. So here I'm gonna do 40 because I'm gonna need that to go to Maine soon. And then for grocery, we budgeted 220. So I'm gonna do 120 for this period. And then eating out, we did 40. So here I'll do 20. And then same thing with laundry, we did 40 for the month, so I'll do 20 here. And then pet, we budgeted 60, so I'm gonna do 40 off this first paycheck. And let's total these up. So that's $260, so 419 minus 260 is 159. So let's take that over to sinking funds because we'll still be able to stuff some of my sinking funds off of this. I think what I'll do, because 59, so it's almost 160. So why don't we take the medical envelope, we'll put 60 in there, and then that leaves us with 99. And we'll put all of that 99 towards my snowball. And then zero out that for paycheck number 1. So then paycheck number 2, it's the same thing. We are starting with a $900 budgeted income total. But first, we have different fixed expenses to pay. So for this period, so we're starting with 900. We have Samsung Cloud for $1. We're gonna split my rent for January. So this would be where I start splitting the rent. So I would do 1/2 of January rent, for which we budgeted $850. But I have to pay my car insurance in this period, which is kind of expensive. So I'll do 400 out of this paycheck, which means out of the third paycheck I'll have to do $450, but I think it'll work better because on my third paycheck I have less fixed expenses to pay. So we'll do that, and then I have Sprint for $36, and then I have my car insurance, which is $193, and I'm smudging this ink because I'm writing so fast. And then I have tuition for $50, and that's all I have to pay for that period. So let's see, we have 1 plus 400 plus 36 plus 193 plus 50 is 680. Yeah, see, that's really, really high because we have 900 minus 680 leaves us with $220, which is not a whole lot for this pay period. So I think some of the makeup is going to be on paycheck number 3. So we're going to take that $220. And I think what we'll do is we'll stuff the rest of my cash envelopes with this paycheck, which means we won't stuff anything on the third paycheck. So let's see, pet, we did 40 on, you can't see it because it's over here. So with pet, I'm gonna have them next to each other for reference. We did 40 and we budgeted 60, so we'll have to do 20. And then laundry, we budgeted 40 and then we did 20, so the remainder is 20, so that's gonna be done. Eating out, we'll do 20, because then that's full. And then grocery, we budgeted for the month, we did 220. Out of this paycheck, we did 120, so to finish it off would be 100. And then gas, we budgeted 60 for the month. In the first paycheck, we did 40, so this one will do 20. And then for allowance for the month, we did 40. For this paycheck, we did 20. So for this paycheck, we'll also do 20, which means that I will hit all of my variable allowance, basically, on paycheck number 2 and paycheck number 3. We won't stuff anything. So 20 plus 20 plus 100 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 200. So we have 200. So that just gives us $20. And not $20. We'll just put it in the medical, because medical is kind of the big fund that I want to stuff as we go. So that's going to actually zero this paycheck budget like that. So let me put that aside, and then we'll do paycheck number 3, the final paycheck for January for me. And I only have 2 fixed expenses to pay off of this paycheck. So we're starting with 900. And I have the second half of January's rent, which we budgeted monthly $850. On the second paycheck, we budgeted $400, so we need $450 to finish that off. And the other expense is Spotify, which is $5. So we're looking at a bill total of $455, which gives us a leftover of $445. Yes. We come down to cash envelopes, but we already stuffed those off the first 2 paychecks, so we're not stuffing them on this third one. And whatever I use, and if I don't use it, then I can roll it over or use it during this period. But this is where the opportunity for the sinking funds should fall in, and also the rest of my debt snowball. So we have car maintenance, home, medical, personal, phone, and vet. So for medical, because we got to finish that off still, we did on the first paycheck, let's see, I think we did 60. And then on the second one, we did 20. So medical is going to be at 80. So to finish it off, we would need another 20. That gets it to 100. And then each of these I wanted to put 20 in. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So $120 from 445 is going to be $325. So we'll bring that $325 down to my debt snowball. And for the monthly, we budgeted $400 for the snowball, and we didn't get any out of Paycheck 2, but Paycheck 1, we did $99. So to finish off the snowball, we need 301, right? 301 plus 399 is 400. So 301, which leaves a 24, which there it is. So that matches the $24 that we budgeted for the month for the bills checking. So that's how all of those numbers work out. So there was not only my monthly budget, but also my paycheck budget breakdown for all 3 paychecks that I expect to receive for the month. So if you made it to the end of this super long video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you leave a like and also leave a comment. And if you're new to my channel, I would love to see you subscribe and follow me on my journey, because I would love to hit 400 subscribers by the end of January. Also, if you like this new monthly budget format where I go super in-depth, please let me know. And also, if you like the worksheets that I use, there are my worksheets that are available on my Etsy shop, and I'll have that linked in a comment below for you guys. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.